All lights, lenses, and reflectors are securely mounted, clear, clean, and the proper color for their location. Red in the rear, yellow or amber everywhere else. Headlights are clear, clean, not damaged. There is nothing leaking under the truck. I check coolant at the sight glass or by opening the cap when the engine is cool. Coolant is at safe operation level above the refill mark. All engine hoses and fittings are securely mounted, not damaged, cracked, worn, not leaking. There are no dripping fluids around or under the engine and transmission. I check oil by the oil dipstick. It is at safe operation level above the refill mark. Power steering reservoir. Power steering fluid is at safe operation level above the refill mark. Power steering gearbox is securely mounted, not damaged, not leaking. There are no loose or missing nuts or bolts. Steering hoses and fittings are securely mounted, not cracked, worn, or leaking. Steering linkage. The arms, links, and rods from the steering gearbox to the wheel are not worn or cracked. All joints and sockets are securely mounted, not worn or loose. And there are no loose or missing nuts, bolts, or cotter pins. Leaf spring mounts and brackets are securely mounted, not broken, cracked, or damaged, not missing any parts. Leaf springs and leaf spring hangers are not missing, shifted, broken, cracked, or damaged. U-bolts are securely mounted, not broken or missing, and there are no loose or missing nuts. Shock absorbers are securely mounted, not damaged, not leaking. Air brake hoses supply air to the brake chamber. Air brake hoses are not cracked, worn, or frayed. Hoses and fittings are securely mounted, not damaged, not leaking. There is no oil or grease on the brake linings or the brake drums, or brake discs if the truck has disc brakes. Brake linings are not dangerously thin, not broken, cracked, or damaged. Tire tread is evenly worn. Tread depth is a minimum of 4/32 of an inch on the steer axle tires and a minimum of 2/32 on all other tires. I measure tread depth with a tread depth gauge. Tire sidewalls are not cut, damaged, no bumps, no bulges, and no mismatched diameter on the dual tires. Rims are not damaged, cracked, or bent. There are no welding repairs, no rust trails. Bolt holes are not elongated, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, no cracks or damage. Lug nuts are present, not loose, with no rust trails, shiny spots, or shiny threads. I use a pressure gauge to check tire inflation. The valve stems are accessible, not broken, cracked, or damaged. Valve caps are not missing. Mirrors are clean, not cracked. Mirror brackets are securely mounted, not bent with no missing parts. Clearance light is securely mounted, not missing, not broken, cracked, damaged, and the proper color of amber. The battery and battery box are secure with no loose or missing parts. All connections are tight, not corroded. All wires are secure, not cut, worn, or frayed. The fuel tank and fuel lines are securely mounted, not damaged, not leaking. The fuel cap is tight and not leaking. The def tank and def tank lines, securely mounted, not damaged, not leaking. Def cap is tight and not leaking. Air and electrical lines on the power unit and trailer are seated, sealed, and locked into place. Air and electrical lines are not cut, cracked, chafed, spliced, taped, or worn. Air and electrical lines are not tangled, crimped, pinched, or dragging against any parts of the tractor. Air hoses and fittings are not leaking. The frame and cross members are securely mounted, not bent, no broken welds, no cracked holes or other damage. Clearance lights are securely mounted, not broken, cracked, damaged, not missing, working properly, and the proper color of amber. The platform base is securely mounted to the frame. It's not broken, cracked, or damaged. There are no loose or missing nuts or bolts, and there is no excessive wear. The skid plate is securely mounted to the platform base. It's not broken, cracked, or damaged. It has no loose or missing nuts and bolts, and no excessive wear. The bolts and pins are secure and not missing. There is no space between the skid plate and the apron, and they are properly greased. The apron is not bent, cracked, or broken, and is lying flat on the skid plate. The release arm is in the engaged position, secure, and the safety lock is in place. The locking jaws are fully secured around the shank of the kingpin, and there is no play between the kingpin and the locking jaws. The kingpin is in place. It's not bent, damaged, or worn. The sliding fifth wheel locking pins are not damaged, and the pins are fully engaged. The fifth wheel is movable and adjustable. Landing gear is securely mounted, fully raised, with no missing parts. The supporting frame and landing pads are not damaged. The crank handle is secure. There is enough space between the landing gear and the back of the tractor, so it will clear the landing gear during turns. Reflective tape is present and affixed securely to the trailer. Trailer frame and cross members are securely mounted, not bent, broken, or cracked. There are no loose or missing cross members, and the floor of the trailer has no holes. Back of trailer reflective tape is present and affixed securely to the trailer. Clearance lights, turn signals, four-way flashers, brake lights, and running lights are securely mounted, not broken, cracked, damaged. They are clean, not missing, and the proper color of red.